The table is set. The question is who's got the seats? I got the updated list. Along with abolishing the Fed, BTC Strategic Reserve, venture capital getting back in, XP price talk at the end.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And how much more money would be flowing into the market if we got rid of the Fed. But before we get into juice like that, by the way, ADA pulling back, a little bit of Charles getting snubbed at the big event. Heard there's a secondary losers event happening. Yeah, I got news to share with you. But before we get into that, your comments come first. Yeah, you, the viewer, matter most. Bull Power says, Klaus, I fucking love you. In a totally non-homo way, of course. You're funny as fuck. That's right. I bring you news whether it's good or bad, happy or sad, with humor. So for those of you out there that are like, oh, but bro, why are you bringing up that XLM didn't get invited? Because this is not just an all sunshine and rainbows thing. H-Bar wasn't invited as well. There were a whole bunch of players that weren't invited. My job is to bring you the news, good or bad, happy or sad. Super Lamb says, I'm not extremely worried about the U.S. buying XRP OTC long term. They'll have to disclose the price they paid, and that alone may help price the exchanges. Meaning when retail sees XRP was bought, for example, 10... No. They're not going to pay more than market for XRP. That makes 0 sense for a strategic reserve, because think, what is the value of XRP? It's what you can get for it, right? So they're not going to pay $10 for something that's $2.50. Because then the rest of the world is like, look at the United States paying 4x for something we could buy in the open market. They're going to buy it over the counter for less than the price. That's why they do these over the counter deals. Just throwing it out there because I hear some misinformation. Nard Ducelis, love the name, says, Klaus, can't we change nothing burgers to nothing tacos? I think we've had enough burgers. Well done. I love the humor. Fan for Freedom finished it off, says Charles supported Robert F. Kennedy and has a huge amount of very negative things he said about Trump over the past 8 years. Yeah, there were players out there snubbed, and whether it was snubbed because how they feel about Trump, their alignment, their donations politically, yes. BTC sitting at 88,331, 2188, XRP at 253. We're going to talk about it at the end. Why? Big things happening. SWE 281. Why is SWE moving? World Liberty Financials adding them as a strategic reserve. ADA, like I showed you in the beginning, down 7%. Near up 9%. And Sol floating sideways at 143. Venture capital's dipping their toes in the market. This is how you get building to happen in crypto. So far, we've been talking about speculative stuff, right? Building. Crypto venture capital deals out $1.1 billion in February as DeFi interest surge. DeFi secured nearly $176 million out of that $1.1 billion in funding across 20 projects. Meanwhile, 8 business service providers raised a total of $230.7 million. So there's money flowing. It's just not as much as we've seen in the past. And if you want to see these things, yeah, it's all linked in the description below. And no. The United States is not going to pay more for XRP than what you could buy it on the open market. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Thomas Massey reintroduces a bill to abolish the Federal Reserve. Well, we're kind of dealing with the Federal Reserve bending us over with interest rates, and let's be honest with ourselves here. The Fed has been one of the big reasons why markets have stumbled, and the Fed has been big into debt, and the Fed bails out zombie companies, and the Fed controls not only the U.S., but has so much influence that a bunch of other countries out there do exactly what the Fed does. So abolish the Fed might not be such a bad thing. The bill proposes a 1-year transition period to dissolve the Board of Governors in the 12 regional Federal Reserve banks. During this period, the Fed's chairman would oversee the liquidation of assets and liabilities, ensuring an orderly wind down. The proceeds would be transferred to the U.S. Treasury, while outstanding liabilities, including employee benefits, would be assumed by the Fed. At the end of the 18 months, the Treasury and Office of Management and Budget would be required to report to Congress on the implementation of the bill. Americans have suffered under crippling inflation, and the Federal Reserve is to blame. Gotta be honest with you. The Fed did not take action fast enough. That's why Jerome Powell had to come in with the 75, 75, 75. During COVID, the Federal Reserve created trillions of dollars out of thin air, loaned it to the Treasury Department to enable unprecedented deficit spending. We're also talking about zombie companies. Companies out there that aren't making money. These are public companies that the Fed is like, yeah, we'll support you by buying your stuff. That's not cool at all. Not cool at all. Taxpayers' money should be used for better shit than that. Who's actually attending the White House Crypto Summit? Oh, okay, I've got the updated list right here. We already know about Charles being denied. Okay, he made it very clear. Some of the biggest players have confirmed their attendance, including Kraken's Arjun Sethi, Robinhood's Vlad Tenev, and Chainlink's Sergey Nazarov. But other heavyweights like ETH co-founder Buterin, Jeremy Allaire, and Solana's Anatoly Akinov have yet to announce whether they'll show up. They've been invited. For those left off the list, there's a talk of a separate invite-only reception happening nearby. That's called the bitch table. That's called the, hey, you're not cool enough to make it to the big kids table, so we put you at the little kids table at Thanksgiving. That's not a fun thing, okay? There's winners and then there's losers. And we've seen who's been picked in the winners and losers. David Sachs says the U.S. has lost $17 billion by selling seized BTC too early. Now, some of you out there are like, but bro, I don't like the idea of using tax money to buy strategic reserve assets like BTC and XRP. Well, we've got the United States' government up on the screen right now, girlfriend, right around $18 billion worth of it. They've got lots of BTC, they've got lots of ETH, they got lots of USDT, a lot of BNB. My point here is they could sell the things that aren't XRP, SOL, ADA, BTC, and ETH, right? Sell their curve, they could sell their mask, they could sell their maker, their Nexo, and use that money to get assets that they want to hold as reserves. So not all the money would essentially be coming from taxpayers' dollars. We could be finding that money from seized assets. Silk Road seized assets, other naughty seized assets. Instead of burning cash, how about we just convert that cash into some of the digital reserves? You bust a dealer out there with the 100K, be like, hey, strategic reserve money, we just found it. Suck on that. Yeah, so it's possible, right? But David Sachs says that the United States lost out $17 billion because they dumped their BTC too early. You want to see something really scary? The United States just dumped a bunch of their BTC. Check it out. Yeah, just throwing it out there. David Sachs says that the federal government sales analysis generated by Elon Musk-backed Grok and what appears to be another hint of potential U.S. crypto reserve. Oh, okay. The government began seizing Bitcoin in 2013. Since then, the FBI and other law enforcement agents have confiscated nearly 195,000 BTC. The government sold BTC 11 times over the past 12 years, with 173 BTC being liquidated by the November 15 and 4 major sales over 3 years. Basically what Sachs is saying is like, look, we've got these assets that are seized by the government. Let's get as much as we can for them. No freaking kidding, girlfriend. But the government's not good with this stuff. And that's why people are all freaked out with the whole strategic reserve with the government. Now, swinging on over to XRP price, I see some green up on the screen with a bit of red up on the screen as well. Volume right now is kind of meh, $107 billion. I think we're going to see a volume spike tomorrow and then kind of calm back down over the weekend unless we get some crazy price oscillations to happen. Specifically for XRP, we're 6.5 billion right now. We've touched 260 and change a couple times today, but we're back now at the 254 mark. I think a lot of us out here are really not too worried about any of these moves because we see the bigger writing on the wall. We just want to know if these moves are going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news thing. Klaus, what do you mean by that? Well, think about it. When the strategic reserve was announced, we shot up to 299.9 for XRP. Then we lost all those gains and now we're building it back, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Are we going to get more rumor before the meeting tomorrow? Are we going to get the meeting tomorrow being the rumor, saying, hey, we think this will happen, we think that'll happen? I don't know. I'm a news channel. The whole thing is I'm going to bring you the news, good or bad, happy or sad. So when that meeting breaks, when we get the news from it, I'm going to share it with you, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. XRP, I'm going to be paying very close attention to the charts tomorrow. Why? Because I want to see if there's any odd movement. I want to see if we see any of these funky pairings right down here starting to do something weird. We've seen that the Korean won has been big in volume. Check this out. Volume right now, 776 million. Compare that to Binance's USDT pairing, which is 706 million. So you're seeing more from the Korean won. They were the last times the ones to time the dip right. Are they going to get some insider information? Are we going to see some of the volume on Coinbase start moving? A little bit of US-based action. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to let you know tomorrow when that happens. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled, keep an eye on the volume. But right now, hey, I think we're all just okay with this. Maybe if not a little bit happy that we are inching our way up from the bottoms. Yeah, we didn't hold a big 299.9, but we're going to be getting strategic reserve announcement. We're going to be getting SEC court case announcement, and we're going to be getting a whole bunch of juicy stuff regards to regs, which is going to be great for the market, especially those that are included to sit at the big kids table. And in terms of people not being invited, some of you out there are like, bro, you seem to be highlighting this stuff. Yeah, because I don't just bring you the good stuff. You know those hype channels out there like, oh, $10,000 XRP, Elon is buying this, ooh, $40,000 buyback, bullshit like that. No, I got to bring you the bad along with the good. And it's obviously bad. I don't know how you could ever cut that news to make it sound good. It's bad that certain players were not invited to this. Now, I'm sure there's going to be more summits down the road, but it's these big ones in the beginning that matter most. Now, Ada's included, but Charles isn't. So you might have a little bit of a personal smudgy going on. You know, we know that Stellar was real deep and close with Ukraine. Trump's probably not the happiest guy with that kind of stuff, so this all makes sense. Does it suck that some of our favorites were not included? Well, yeah, obviously. I'd have way more views if all of a sudden all the favorites we covered on this channel were included in those meetings. I should get way more views on positive news days than I do bad days. So, of course, I would want everything included to help out the views, but that's not how the news goes. And that's why I stand here, well, sitting right now, in front of you saying, look, whether it's good or bad, I'm going to bring it to you so that you can make the best decisions. I'm not going to hide bad stuff. I'm not only going to give you the fluff, a little reachy, roundy, and BS like that. I'm going to cut it to you raw. It's my promise to you. You know what else I'm going to promise to you? Oh, choo-choo bitches.